If you see a kangaroo in the middle of the night on the road, what you need to do is turn your headlights off and drive in the dark, because then the kangaroo will walk off. So imagine driving into this giant beast with no lights. It's frightening. But that's what we're doing to our business without a system. We're driving to this giant thing to collide with no visibility.
Welcome to the Workergenix Mastermind Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about technology that is near and dear to my heart and has been transformational in multiple businesses that I've been a part of. And it is Monday.com. We have a Monday.com expert here, Elena with Kick Consulting, who's been a project manager and technology lover with over 15 years of experience. And she loves helping businesses succeed. And she's going to kick your business into gear to help you with managing your processes, automations, project management, and CRM using Monday.com. Elena, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
Well, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, Elena, most of our guests have been kind of North American based. You're a little outside our normal scope of guests. Can you tell everyone where you're based right now?
So I live in the, not so much the Wild West, but the wild down under, sunburned country, as Bill Bryson would call it, in Australia. I am born and raised in Russia I'm more Australian, I think, than Russian. Been here for 20 years. And no, we don't have kangaroos on the streets unless you live really out the back. It's a beautiful place to be.
I've been to Australia a few times in my past life as a computer engineer. Always enjoyed my time there. Although was working out in the middle of nowhere in Alice Springs. And
oh my goodness, I haven't even been that far.
Looking to explore other parts of the country next time.
Yeah, that you really went for the tough love there, red
Yes.
soil and heat and whatnot. I'm very fortunate to live in a small holiday town called Boomerang Beach. So if you guys buy the computer, Google it. It's a very Australian name, but it has probably the most beautiful beaches in the whole world. It's white sand, turquoise water, dolphins, whales, rainbows, unicorns, and all sorts of things. So highly recommend coming by. I feel like I have to pinch myself every morning.
Awesome. Well, Elena, tell us a little bit of your background, how you came to Kick Consulting and what's driving your passion for helping other businesses.
I came from a very boring background of finance. I had no idea what I wanted to do. So my parents encouraged me to go into finance because, finance always will feed the family and whatnot. And I was in financial planning for, I don't know, close to 10 years. And I went through what in Australia called Royal Commission, where they do stringent, requirement review and whatnot. So I had this best interest duty drilled into my head of doing things in clients' best interest. So that's always been the cornerstone of me. I've always loved technology. So I will be the person trying to break things like technology like TVs and first computers when I was a kid, trying to trying to put it back together. So that's been my side thing where I loved it. And I was managing several financial planning businesses where my contracts were coming to an end. And my husband came to me and said, why don't you teach people how to use technology or teach businesses how to maximize it? This was 6 years ago. And I looked at him and said, why would somebody pay me for that? I love tech, but other people don't. And he said, just give it a whirl, give it a try. And Kick started. It took me a while to figure out the name. You're kicking your business into gear and kicking your business up to other places if needed. And here we are. I teamed up with Monday. Monday was the platform of choice because it was so versatile and it was colorful. And little did I know it was going to grow into this beast that it is now, floating on the NASDAQ. And now they release so many products. They're one of the leading CRM providers. So I jumped on the journey really, really early. I think I probably would have been one of the first in Australia to specialize in it. And I did have a lot of North American clients. Monday wasn't known in Australia, but it was very well known in America. So all of my clients were North American clients. And I just stuck through the journey. And, one staff member, two staff members, we just gone through overhaul of our whole team and business where we downsized. So we leaned out about 50%. So we have half the stuff that we did 12 months ago, but our capacity doubled. So we can deliver twice as much with half the team purely because of Monday. Our team has sat down and went and tinkered. They're all tinkerers, just like me. We love sitting and doing bits and pieces. So they went and tinkered and came back and said, I think we should do it this way. And it didn't blow my mind so much, but just recently, just show me things that I didn't even think were possible. So it is really incredible what Monday can do just on our experience, seeing that you can deliver twice as much with half the team. Why wouldn't you? So yeah, that's how I ended up in here.
I love it. Tell me, what are some of the common challenges that businesses face when they come to you that you're able to really just knock out of the park, kick out of the park with Monday.com solutions for them?
We'll be here for 2 hours, I think. This is a very down the rabbit hole question. I think most frequent one, so we have your very standard entry level problems or pains where you have no CRM or everything is done on the spreadsheet, right? So you come in, you manually write the tasks, you have a team of 10, everyone manually writes the tasks, and no one knows what's anyone doing. The business owner or manager has it in their head. So if somebody needs to do something, they have to call the business owner. So the business owner is completely overwhelmed while the team also has no independence, no empowerment, and there is no transparency in the business. So that's your entry level of, okay, I have a pain, or I need a CRM, or I need a task management system. Then you go to the next level and you say, okay, one of the most frequent things people come to us with, if they do have a system of some sort or several systems like Zero, MYB, some time tracking, some invoicing, some, I don't know, client communication, so several tools. So they're ready to the next level. They're coming to us and say, okay, we have to go to 6 different places to actually see what's happening with the client. And every team is disjointed. How do we see it? So that's the next level of, okay, let's bring all the tools integrated into Monday and create what we call 360 view of the client. So you can see the client from start to finish, from the day the client contacts you to the day the client writes your review, through payments, through canceled or booked appointments, through what the tasks have been done, their inquiries. So you track that whole process, but you just go into one tool, which is Monday, and it shows you everything. And we have clients with 150 staff that do that for the inquiries. And we have clients with 5 staff that have that. And it is mind blowing. When you see it, you go, oh my God, I can't believe this was possible. So that's your next level. And then if you want to go even further, this is the big factories that go, okay, we need to automate, glass delivery through different QR codes and this and that. So you start to involve code and developers. My favorite phrase is to say, Monday can do everything and anything you can imagine. Let's work out what is your ideal situation, and then we'll work back of what is really the utility that you can get for your budget. Because we can spend hundreds and thousands of dollars building a Titanic, but do you really need a Titanic if you're swimming across the lake?
Now, you've mentioned a lot of different things Monday.com can do. For someone who's listening or watching this and they're not familiar with Monday.com, how would you describe it in a nutshell to someone as what is Monday.com and why should they care about it?
This is a $1 million question that my husband challenges me. He says that I don't do it well enough, so I will do it, and Harley, you will do it after me because maybe you can do that one better since you're a user of Monday. Monday is a work operating system. What it is it's a foundation of your business. It will automate your tasks. It will automate your projects and job deliveries. Will also automate your customer journey, help you track where everything is at, as well as bring all the information in one place. It's a platform that will allow you to automate and streamline your business. How did I do?
That's perfect. I say it very similarly. I call it a business operating system. So my background is computer engineering, so I love operating systems. And so I just call it business operating system. You can run your business on it. And personally, we've done it for a real estate team. Every aspect of the team managed on Monday.com. And then same with Workergenix now. So everything we do in the business is tracked and managed on Monday.com, whether it's time cards, payroll, CRM, new clients, managing tasks for the different teams, tracking the video editing process, the podcast editing process. It's all done on Monday.com.
Mm, exactly. We are completely
So
everything on Monday as well.
let's maybe pick one of these examples that is one of your favorites that you help clients with, and kind of walk through what it looks like of transitioning from spreadsheet craziness, managing tasks and poor communication, to coming to Monday.com for doing task management.
Favorite example. I think maybe what I would do is we can talk about CRM, for example, and task management. We have so many eye-opening examples where we have business owners spending a whole day collating timesheets. That's 8 to 10 hours of work that can be billable. But let's use a simple case where we have clients that come into us. Every time there is a return of a product, they're a glass manufacturer. And this has been the interesting thing. Monday started a couple of years ago with a lot of white collar office accountants, whatnot. And that's another one, the accounting business. I can tell you about that one. Maybe that's the one I will use actually. Now we're seeing a lot of blue collar, so a lot of manufacturing, construction clients coming in, and a lot of smaller businesses. So that's really shows the power of how versatile it is. So one of my favorite examples, and everyone who's listening, if you want to hear all those magical stories or read about them on our website, we have testimonials of those really out there stories that show the numbers, whether that's completely moving the team remote thanks to Monday, or saving 160 hours per staff member per year. It's really incredible. This particular one is an accounting business that would spend 2 weeks of the month, every month, collating what they call a budget. So what they did is, and a lot of businesses do that as well, accounting practices do that frequently, is they come in and everyone tracks their time and they say, okay, for each staff member based on your salary and whatnot, you need to be doing X amount of billable hours. And that they call that a budget. So KPI budget, whatnot. What they used to do is they used to track it in a tool, then they export it and then put it in a spreadsheet. Someone would waste a lot of time putting it together. So what we did is obviously that was the end goal of getting rid of the 2 weeks of wasted time. But also in Australia, all the accounting task management systems are so terrible that staff don't want to use it. Or they're made by our tax office, which is even worse. So what we've created is it's an accounting system. It's an accounting task management system where you come in and, the client came to us and said, look, this is our pain. We just want the reporting. We said, okay, we understand. Let us be the doctor. So rather than just saying, give me an aspirin for my headache, let me just diagnose you and actually talk to you. So once we spoke to them and had a proper in-depth scoping, we identified that, yes, you can just import the spreadsheet from your time tracking or integrate it, and it will spit out a report. However, that will only give you visibility for one small part of it. You will have no visibility for anything else, and you'll have no accountability for the stuff. So we went and did a mock-up proposal for an accounting solution that is really task management for accountants, that is completely automated based on type of clients, services, when it's due, lodgement dates, all of that. And it is a very simple system that we now deliver in record times, which blew me away a couple of months ago. We delivered it in the fifth of what we used to be able to do it. And it's a task list that allows you not just to say, okay, you're a staff member, you have all these tasks. It also gives you as a manager forecasting based on the tasks you have and clients in the pipeline. This is your workload across the next 12 months, because the biggest problem accounting businesses suffer is in Australia, June is the end of tax financial year. So they are busy in June, but they're not busy other times of the year. So allowing to go across the board, but then also for budgets and then forecasting the fees and everything else, they can do that for 12 months. So a lot of forecasting on top of that budget reporting, and then looking at it historically. And then you put CRM on top of it, where the client comes in through the funnel. Our historical numbers with CRM is 32% in conversions in first 30 days, just purely by having a system, which I couldn't believe myself. So
No,
that's
true.
true
If
for
you're
client.
not having a good system to support your work, it just makes things so much more difficult. And if you've got that system and the people trained to use it, big things can happen.
It's driving blind. I use an example here people understand, and for American people, I have to explain it. We have a lot of kangaroos. You guys have deer or elk come out on the road. And kangaroos here, they're 2 meters tall. If you have a collision with a kangaroo probably will walk off or hop off, and your car will be a write-off. And during the night and sunsets, they love to be on the road. So if you see the advice they give to drivers in Australia, if you see a kangaroo in the middle of the night on the road, what you need to do is turn your headlights off and drive in the dark, because then the kangaroo will walk off. So imagine driving into this giant beast with no lights. It's frightening. But that's what we're doing to our business without a system. We're driving to this giant thing to collide with no visibility.
So of all the amazing things Monday.com can do, is there a particular feature or functionality that for you is just like, this is why we love Monday.com. This is what everyone should be using?
That's another long, long question. I think I want to talk about 2 features, and they both relate to transparency. One is called emails and activities. What this is essentially it's part of the CRM setup. So we have a lot of clients on CRM, but they use that functionality in many other aspects of the business. It allows you to connect emails for your whole team to Monday. So Harley, if you're working with a client and you send an email, I will log into Monday and see that you've sent that email. So then if you're off or you're on holiday, or maybe you hit a kangaroo and your car is a write-off, I can see what you've been doing. So when the client calls, I can pick it up. So everyone is across of what's happening. But it also comes with tasks and everything else. So whether that's a note, a meeting, a Zoom summary, or an email, the whole team has full transparency into what's going on with the client or with the task. That's been a game changer from all of our clients, including us. The other one is, it's called Connected Board. So Monday is, as you know yourself, it's a task management. People say, oh, what's the difference between Monday and Trello, Monday and Asana? Well, I think Connected Boards really does. It's one of those differentiating features on top of a million of others. It has aspects of a database, and Connected Boards connect multiple different places to each other, which means that if I open up a client, I can also look at things like their billing history, their appointments history, and everything else. It creates that 360-degree holistic view of task, project, client, portfolio, job, whatever you want to choose through that feature. And that's been a game changer as well for everything. I think that's probably the 2. There's no way I could narrow down to one.
All right. Well, the emails and activities for sure, Connected Boards. I like dashboards. So the dashboards and visualizing the data, I have found super helpful in just understanding what's going on. You can have all the data in the world, but if you don't have a good way to represent it and make sense of it, it's hard to take action and gather insights from it. So I really liked the dashboards and how you can create dashboards that collects data that's synthesized from multiple boards and combinations of that. Also making things like shareable dashboards with clients. And so that's actually how I found out about Monday.com. I was the client of another business, and they gave me a dashboard that gave me insight of the project that I was paying them to do. And it was on Monday. I was like, this is so cool. It was a contractor doing remodeling on a house that I was buying. And I was like, I've never had another contractor have this level of detail and communication. And like, you could click and see the pictures of each state, the drywall put in, you get pictures, the paint, the cabinets. And I was like, this is really cool.
We have seen for businesses, especially, or any size businesses, Monday really allows you to add that wow factor, whether that's a dashboard. So all of our clients, when they work with us, we have, things in their account, but also in our account where you have, your global project plan, your dashboards as well, all of these things where they can come and look at how their project is going and see where things are at, when it's going. It's a real thing.
So, one common concern or complaint that I kind of get. So we provide a mini task board for all of our clients at the shareable board. So they're going to have exposure to Monday.com. It's optional to use. A lot of them, they say, well, I already use Asana or I already have another system. I don't have to learn a new system. I'm imagine like when people come to you and they're using the spreadsheets and they're using 5 different tools to do the same things Monday.com can do, you probably get that hesitation. How do you help people overcome that and share like, yes, this is how you can use it. It's not that much to learn, or maybe here are some strategies to have other people help with managing it for you.
Mm. We often, the people that come to us, either senior management or business owners who say, we have a problem, help us fix it. We have a pain, something's not working. The people that are hesitant is usually their team. And that part comes as part of change management, which we also help with because we all have a background in it and we've seen so many clients with this. It really trying to work through with it's a workshop where, first of all, we do involve everyone in this, all the people that will be using the process into drafting the process. So there is a buy-in. So people see that it's not just the business owner or the CEO trying to, tighten the belt or make you track time so they can go to the beach. There is a longer term vision. The one that I was bringing as an example, the glass manufacturer, they did estimation on how long it takes to track every return. So when there's a scratch on the glass, it's 5 or 7 hours to do one return and remake and resend. It was terrible. So we went to the team and said, okay, that's the bosses. They don't have anything to do with it. You guys are the ones that are suffering. How would you like it to take 2 minutes instead of 7 hours? Of course, they would love that. Or rather than having to do manual data entry, we had another business where the floor staff were tracking their time on paper and all the items they've used on paper. And then the business owner was spending 8 to 10 hours a day collating it. Business owner goes, well, guys, I want to be on the tools with you down in the workshop because it was a custom old vintage workshop I was telling you about. We call them panel beaters. You guys call them something else. Smash repair for vintage cars. And the owner loved cars, but he had to spend time with spreadsheets. So he's like, I don't want to. I would like to be on the tools next to you guys. And of course, everyone welcomes that. So it's really getting down to the why and working through the why. And sometimes the team isn't ready and sometimes the business isn't ready. The reason they want to do this is wrong. They know they should, but no one wants to do it, including the CEO. We're not here to, force feed you Monday. We're in business of collaborating rather than trying to whip you into shape.
I've definitely seen situations just in our businesses where we'll have a team member that comes up with a new idea to do something, and maybe they start like managing it using a spreadsheet, and then it starts growing in this collaboration. I'm like, guys, we've got to put this into Monday. This is going to make your job easier if we just track it in Monday, because you have all the communication in one place. You've got all the history, the tracking, that insight that you talked about with like the email and activities insights. And it's just, if you spend a little bit of upfront thought or get consultation from Kick, right, it makes everything else so much easier. It's a great investment and a huge ROI to get things set up properly the first time with Monday. And maybe you've seen some examples of this you could share, but the nice thing too is it's flexible as your needs or processes change. This is not set in stone. It lets you customize and add additional features and as you need to.
We find that if anything, we have people who are coming to us and asking, how do we lock it stuff, stop creating new things? Because it spreads like wildfire. Everyone wants to use it. We have our Monday open to all of our staff for personal use. They have their own play space. I plan my wedding and our household to-dos are all in Monday. One of my project managers just told me she built a killer mortgage manager or mortgage finder in Monday. So I've seen Eurocup for soccer, the results being tracked on Monday as well. So we let everyone use it. It has to come from the top. So if the business owner doesn't want to embrace it or struggles to embrace it, that's where we need to start and getting them to be the Monday, not even a champion, don't have to be tech, but Monday's easy to use. It's just loving Monday, and that love spreads.
I love that you shared how you give your employees personal access to use the tool, because one of the great things about Monday is like you're not paying for each board that you set up. You can have as complex of a system as you need. You're still paying the same price per seat for your employees. A fun utilization of Monday that we are doing personally is we're tracking our world travel there. So we want to know just kind of as a novelty thing. How many countries and places have us and our kids been to? And so we track that in Monday, and with the dashboard and the visualizations, they actually have a map key, so you can see pins on the global map of all the different places that our families traveled. And it's like, that's not a work thing at
love
all, but it's
that.
like a really fun application of Monday.
I know our clients love that map view because they can see where their clients are. But I didn't even think of it. I have a map hanging on the wall, but I think I'm gonna move that into Monday with all the places
Yeah,
we
when we
want to go
started
and
doing
work
this
on.
world travel, we had the old map on the wall, and we're like, we can't take this with us when we're traveling and check this
Yeah,
and hope it's going to survive all the trips we're going to
yeah.
do. So just have it done virtually now on Monday.com.
We did plan I did show my husband 3 years ago when I was pregnant with my daughter, our first one. We did a huge road trip in Western Australia, the Wild West, we call them. Probably not so wild as American Wild West, but still. And we tracked it was 2 months in a van when heavily pregnant. We tracked all of that on Monday and planned everything. So we had that map view, we had all the durations, times, we knew which ones are booked, which ones are not. It's Monday is so versatile and so easy to use. It is really incredible. That's why there is so many more smaller businesses are coming on board because anyone can use it. And it's because of its color and ease of creating dashboards. It just makes you want to use it. It makes you happy.
Absolutely. You have shared some great insights. You've done a great job of convincing people to try out Monday.com. What is a next step for people that are like, all right, you sold me. How do I use Monday.com? Help me get set up. For what do they need to do next to get in touch with you?
I think you'll share a link on contact us page, which is a Monday page as well. It has forums, so which is awesome. Reach out. It's either myself or Kaya from my team. We will have a discovery call where we, just like a doctor, talk about your needs and pains and identify what is your end goal and see how we get there. The next step is a scoping call with our tech specialist. And then we tell you, okay, this is the wonderful things Monday can do for you, and this is what it will look like. We're not yes men, and we pride ourselves on it that if you come and you say, I want a Titanic, like I mentioned, but you're only swimming across the lake, we'll say you don't need it. Let's build a small ditty and use the budget for something else. So if you need a yes man, you can find them on freelancer.com. But if you want somebody to work with you, come to us.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much for sharing these tips. We're going to have all of those links in the video and podcast descriptions below for everybody. And I encourage everybody to use Monday.com. Definitely get in touch with Elena. It's going to save you a ton of time getting it figured out and make sure it's done right for you at the start. Thank you so much.